Welcome to the Essence of True Self podcast, where we affirm I am the son of my creation. Here I focus on mindfulness, limiting belief, self-care, spirituality, and overall becoming your true self. I'm your host, Oriana, a book, tea, and self-development lover. I give you tips and tricks of what I learned on my self-development journey so you can apply to yours. If you're interested, keep listening. Hey, welcome back to the Essence of True Self podcast, and I'm your host, Oriana, and I hope your week, your day, your evening, or whatever is doing pretty good. I hope you're doing pretty good in this time and age and what's going on in the world. Just try to stay centered and still be aware of what's going on around you. Yeah, before we get into anything, we're going to do some breathing and also say our affirmation, of course. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And now we're going to get into the affirmation. I am the son of my creation. I am the son of my creation. I am the son of my creation. I hope it help you be grounded and present in this moment with all that's going on in the world. I just really hope this episode help you and bring you to this present moment and relax your mind, spirit, and soul. And yeah, we just gonna go ahead and hop right into it. Before I tell you what's going on with this episode, if you can tell by the title. But first, let me give a little update because I know I've been gone for like a while. Like 3 weeks to be exact. Probably a month. I'm not really counting, but I've been gone for a minute. And mostly because I've been traveling and trying to get myself back in order when I came back home. Where did I go to is Puerto Rico. I am going to post some pictures soon on my IG, my regular IG, not my podcast IG. So if you want to look at the videos and the photos that I took on my trip, go follow me on there. And then also I did say in my last episode I went to Chicago, so I have pictures already up on my personal Instagram if you want to look at that as well. But I just been traveling and taking in every moment of my life at this moment because I feel like I've been so stuck in like social media world or like not feeling actual passionate with things, and that is half of the reason why I haven't uploaded after I came back from my trips and stuff, because I just felt blah. I just felt out of the ordinary. I didn't know where I wanted to take my podcast at this moment, and I just didn't know what to do. And I sit with myself and I sit with myself and I sit with myself, and I'm like, at one point was thinking like, is this even for me? Is this even for me? Even though I'm so passionate about it. And I know deep down it is for me. But when you be so stuck in your head a lot, like even though I preach all these positive things, I also go through the problems that I talk about in my videos. And it's just when you constantly thinking and like trying to find a better way to show your passion, but all you have to do is show up, be, and peace always come from within, and it's good for the soul. And I feel like after all the traveling and being around so much energy and people, don't get me wrong, I enjoy every person that I met on my trip and bonded with and had a good time with. But also, nobody talks about how traveling can be so draining. And I took the plane there, so it was a lot of energy there. And I am an empath. I know that word is very controversial because everybody been talking about it, and you don't know is that even true or not. But I know I'm very sensitive to people energy, and as I grew up, people didn't really realize it. But the more I grew up, I didn't even realize it. The more I grow, the more I realize I'm very sensitive to other people's energy, and their energy can be easily attached to me. And I guess that's probably why I feel like what people say about me is true, but really it's just their projections of who I am, but not really who I am. And that's why I preach that being your true self is so important to understand who you are as a person. And I feel like I didn't have, give myself the chance to do so. And re centering myself, re understanding my why for my podcast is always bringing me back to why I started it. It's to spread the word and send out healing and loving and my authenticity and my growing through my process. And even though I'm growing and evolving, we all slip, we all fall, we all have to get back up. And I been planning and trying to figure out what I want to do. What is something I want to talk about besides these long videos about tips and tricks and whatnot. And that's what made me come up with this series called Pep Talk with Your Evolving Bestie. And this series is just me like some topics I like to talk about, or like things, just a pep talk for you to, help you in your life. And not really giving tips and tricks, but like just let's talk about it. And I will give you like questions, the extra stuff at the end. And you just, see what you can learn from this episode. If this resonate with you, let me know. If it doesn't, keep it pushing. You don't have to like send out hate comments. We all love and peace over here, and that's always my intention, is to spread the awareness of what's going on, and also just understanding, just being yourself and being centered in yourself and knowing how to cope with things is always a good thing, and coping in a good way. Let me just say, coping is a good way, not in like the bad way. And now that I think I want to do a whole episode about coping and how I evolved over coping and how are healthy ways of coping. I feel like that would be good episodes to do. And yeah, just this new series is about pep talks with y'all evolving besties and just random topics that I want to talk about and have my opinions on. And just for fun, also giving like questions at the end to help you think further into your subconscious and your consciousness and what you do every day and that you don't even realize. And yeah, yeah, that's all I have for right now. That's all I have for right now. But let's get into this episode. As you can see by the title, you can't save everyone. The only person you can save is you. And I want to start this series as this because a lot of times we grow to believe that we need to save people when we really don't need to save anybody. We just have to save ourselves and trust that when we save ourselves, we will reflect that outward and just show genuine kind loveness to people instead of have to feel like we have to run our cup dry just to help people when really we don't. And we can let people know, well, I'm not feeling up to it at this point to help you because I need to really help myself at this moment. And then when my cup is overflowing with abundance and feeling good and loving myself, I will be able to help you. And I know it can be hard and frustrating and at times to feel like we have to be there all the time for people, but you really need to be there for yourself. And I want you to think about some things that I have wrote down. If I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes. But these are some things that help me realize I can't save people. I can't save them, but I can exist in certain ways in their life and not try to be their person, be their everything to that person. Because you cannot be everything to one person. You cannot be everything to one person. And we all need to understand it. We all got this society brainwashed idea of, oh, I need to do this for this person. I need to do that for this person because I feel like I need to and I have to, but not all the time. Sometimes you just have to sit back and watch what that person rather do than, oh, let me step in and help this person all the time. And let's just get into what I wrote down. And hopefully, if some of this stuff resonate with you, just let me know. Hit a like, comment, share with somebody who might need to hear this, or subscribe, of course. And yeah, and if the people that's listening on the podcast platforms, I do have a YouTube channel. It's called The Essence of True Self as well, so check it out if you want to. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. A lot of times we try to save other people because we want to save ourselves without realizing it. We hold on to this idea that I could say I could have did this or could have did that, but you didn't, and now you are projecting outwards. And we all heard the saying, what we feel about ourselves will always project outwards, and it's true. And we know it's true because people see us the way we feel about ourselves, but sometimes we don't want that to be seen into the world, and we keep projecting that idea, but really your true color shows all the time if people pay attention close enough. Some people don't, but some people do, and realize, oh, this person is insecure, oh, this person needs this and this and this, so let me just use this person until they run dry. Because you could get takers all the time, but you don't really get givers all the time, right? So you just have to realize that you can't save people, and realize you have to save yourself first and love yourself first. See yourself. Make that time to rescue yourself. We all heard the saying, nobody's coming to save you. You have to save you. So why not save yourself? Or do you want to be a hero of someone else's story because we don't feel worthy of being a hero of our own story? So people can tell us how good of a person we are, even though we don't feel like that in this current moment. And I see this as a case of seeking validation from others or other people, things are outside of us. But really, we just need validation from ourselves. And we always want somebody just to pat us on the back and be like, oh my God, you're such a good friend, or this and that. But you not even pouring your own cup, and you don't feel like that you are a good friend. You feel like we need to be rewarded for doing things for people out of the kindness of our heart. But if you feel like you need to be rewarded, is it really being the kindness of your heart though? Is it? Because if you're being genuine, you don't really ask for anything in return. And if you get something in return, great. If you don't, that's fine as well. But you know your heart is being in an authentic, caring place. And it's something I have to learn for myself. Because we always living in this society, oh, we do one thing for one person, we should get something in return. And that's not always the case. That is not the case. We don't need to always get something in return. We can just do something that makes us feel good and fulfill us and just enjoy it and love it. So, yeah, just see validation from within. Because if you constantly seek it outside of you, you're just not going to be happy. And you're going to feel not worthy enough or not enough at all because we want something outside of us to tell us how great we are. But really, you are already great. You are already worthy. But if you want more tips on that, I do have an episode about like all about self-worth. I think that's the episode name. So check it out if you want to know how to improve your self-worth and grow as a person and not try to seek validation outside of you. Check out that episode. Okay, another one I wrote down was, or you see that person can be a good person and you always see the best in people. Sometimes they are good people, but not to you. Or life is just being hard on them and you want to help them. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. But it is not your job to save them all the time. You can help them here and there, but most of the time that person needs to learn on their own to save themselves. If that person don't respect you or your boundaries, this is a sign that that person is not for you. And people always show their true colors and who is there for you and who is not. If you say one thing and they still don't listen to what you say and bombard what you saying over your life, babes, they are not for you. You know it and you see it and you believe it and you feel it in your heart, but we don't want to see it. But when it comes to actually saving yourself, you have to see the reality of life. You have to see it. See it for yourself. And I mean, I know social media is very famous right now about the delulu for the salulu, but like it's an extent for being delusional in your life. And saving people is not one of them. Don't be delusional of saving people. People will seek help when they want to and allow them to do so. Because as we constantly coddle them and hold them and hold hands with them the whole way, they will never learn from their mistakes. They will never learn to be a bigger person and learn how to heal from their own wounds that they cause for themselves or other people cause onto them. So allow that person to fall and get back up. Not, it's always a balance. I'm not saying don't help them at all, but help them here and there, but not all the time. Because we always want somebody to be there for us all the time, but sometimes we just need that time for ourselves to realize, what are we doing in our life? What are we doing? What are we doing exactly? You have to be your own hero first before even consider being a hero for somebody else. Fill your cup up first, and then the overflow can be handed out to people. Of course, there is a balance to show up for your friends and people we care about, family. Share resources and information you do know when needed, but if that person don't take it, it's not on you, it's on them. When you are being there for yourself, you will see clearly who is not there for you. And then every time we show up for this person and they don't really grow and heal as a person, we are constantly hurting ourselves, and it's not hurting them at all. They just see you, oh, this person will always be there for me and this and that. But is that pain and that hurt worth the being hurt all the time and depleting yourself just to please somebody else? And I also see this as the people pleasing tendency as well. I didn't write that down, but people pleasing tendency as well. And we don't have to live like that, y'all. So save yourself. Believe in yourself. Know that you are capable of doing things that are good for you, loving you. So, are you going to save yourself? Are you going to love yourself? Are you going to show up for yourself? And then when your cup is overflowing, will you show up for other people that's in need, with a balance of not being there all the time, and let them learn from their own mistakes? And if that person always feel like you need to be there all the time for them, and feeling like a codependent relationship, friendship, partnership, reconsider. Look within and look outside to see what's really being shown to you. And I also wrote down some questions you can ask yourself. Here got some questions to ask yourself to deepen why you want to save people and how can you start saving yourself. So question 1, why do you feel like you need to save people? Let me answer this one though. I'm gonna answer one of the questions. I feel like I needed to save people because I always want to be called a good person and feel like if nobody was there for me, ooh, this is about to be emotional. I felt like nobody was there for me, so why not be there for other people who felt like me at that time? And I feel like I was living out my trauma through these people to be loved and seen and heard from them. Because I was never seen and heard from the people in my life. And from myself, honestly. Because we so used to seeking things outside of us and never learn to seek things from within us. And I never really was coddled. Really. I wasn't coddled at all. But I just felt like I needed to be there for somebody. And that was my codependency and my abandonment issues showing up. Because I didn't want to be alone. I don't want to be the person who be like, oh, I'm so alone. And I feel like I would die without being. I feel like I would die if I haven't really show up for other people. And I would hold that burden over myself to always be there for that person. And if I wasn't there, I would beat myself up and say negative things and terrible things. Reiterate it. I don't think that's the word. Um, say it back to me in a way that did not fill me up. And I made them as my truth. And I re-say it to myself over and over again. Because to make me realize my mistake in a friendship or relationship. And really, it's not my place to save anybody. And we feel like we are obligated to do so. And we're not obligated. So that's why I felt like I needed to save people. Okay. Let me get to the rest of the questions. Number 2. Do I wish somebody would have saved me, and why? Do I wish somebody would have saved me, and why? Are you afraid to be the hero of your own story? If so, why? And lastly, how can I start today to change my story? What are some action steps I can take to change my story? So, yeah, I hope this episode helped you. And it was quite emotional, but I hope this update and this episode help you to see that you don't have to save nobody. You just save yourself. You can be a generous, thoughtful person, but don't drain yourself dry. And of course, I always gotta say, you're not alone. I love you, and you are protected. You are loved. You are safe. And I hope you like this new series because some more episodes is to come from your evolving bestie. And yeah, and like, comment, share, and follow and subscribe. If you like this episode or like my podcast in general and want to keep up with all the latest episodes, or you just like my personality. But yeah, and until next time, y'all, I love you.